These are 6 productivity hacks that have made me a millionaire by 26 years old. And this isn't going to be, I just want to get this out of the way. It's not going to be the typical work hard, time management, focus kind of stuff. These are actual, real, tactical things you could literally start today, tomorrow morning, whatever, that I do literally to this day. And it's honestly something I believe in for beginners especially, but even experienced business guys. It doesn't matter where you are, you could value from a few of these points. And let's just roll. Let's get right into them. Number 1, I've talked about this before. 20-minute walk in the morning, minimum, just to get the brains firing, get some sun in your eyes and whatnot. As soon as I'm back, I do caffeine. I either do it in pill form or coffee, and I set a physical timer for 60 to 90 minutes of work in blocks. This could be a physical kitchen timer, my phone, Alexa will sometimes work too. The only way, I just want you to understand this, the only way you'll get ahead is actual deep focused works. No calls, no meetings, no random text messages, but like actual needle moving work. And I don't care what field you're in. I run the agency. I need to write specific campaigns. I need to get specific copy up. I need to get ads up. These are high leverage, high needle moving things. Sometimes it's video. If I'm making a video for this, I will do this stuff like ASAP. That is when I'm most creative and when all neurons are firing. It's just in the morning for me personally. So I know I need to leverage this. And most people are spent doom scrolling. They're eating garbage. I personally fast. That's another thing. I wasn't going to add it separately to this list, but I just focus a lot more when I've got nothing in my stomach and I could just move as quickly as possible. I'm agile. I'm firing, right? So you need to find this moment. We're going to talk about this more specifically with like times of when you start working later in the video. But this is easily the one that has driven most of my net worth and most of my results. And I still do to this day, and I probably will to the day I die, just being full transparent. So number 2, this is a bit of again, not advice here, but tobacco. And I'm personally in Canada, so this is actually better for me since I can't smoke in the winter. But when spring, summer hits, I have made genuinely some of the biggest strides while smoking. And this usually comes with the natural, the head high, the little bit of a buzz going on. I write extremely good copy, extremely good documents, tweets, SOPs, whatever. It's weird, but it really does give you a 1 to 2 hour window that just, if you use it properly, you will have a level of focus like nothing else. In full transparency, I've never taken Zyn. I've had a lot of buddies that have, and they regret it because they're now addicted. And I had that a couple summers ago with tobacco. I got a little bit better last summer, and I'm really itching for a smoke very soon here because it's finally getting warm. It's finally springtime. So I know that as long as I'm not abusing it, I do my very, very, well, as funny as it sounds, good enough work while I'm smoking cigars specifically. So take that with what you will. Again, please don't, start a smoking addiction because of me. I'm just telling you what works for me, myself personally, and it may be different for you, which kind of goes into my next point. I want to talk about 2 real quick things. I've got a newsletter live. I know I plugged it in the last video, but please go subscribe to that. It's completely free, but it gives you an added level to me through my writing, through what I'm thinking in real time. I can only explain so much in a couple videos per week, but I want to give you that like first level access to my thoughts, my brain, business ideas that I've got, market news or AI stuff, just stuff that I'm genuinely interested in. If you're interested in that, by all means go. And I know I've hinted at this in the beginning of the month. This is my official announcement for the dollar amount increase on my consult calls as well as the time. So they will be going from $150 per hour to $189 by April 23rd, 1.5 weeks from today. Next Wednesday is the official day. So if you are interested, I know that gives you some time. I purposely did it to give you at least a week. I know Easter is coming up here as well. So I wanted to give people some extra time. If you are interested in booking, highly, highly recommend you do that today. I'm keeping the slots lean for a reason. I've also got some holiday stuff coming up, so I'm purposely blocking that off. There will be limited slots. So if you're interested, book now before that increase by a week and a half today. And I'm curious, what are your personal productivity hacks? What works for me, like I said, may genuinely not work for you and vice versa. So I want to know what you do personally. I know everyone has their own kind of little spiel or thoughts on that. So I'm genuinely curious. Comment below. And let's get into my third one, which is, again, specifically on this walk, right, in the morning, try to be physically not on your phone. You could have a podcast or a book or something in the background, but do not doom scroll. Try to not touch your phone unless really possible. And this is like the biggest one for me too, because I have a bad habit of this, even to this day. It's the first thing I do is I'll touch my phone or I'll look at analytics or whatever, and I'm slowly starting to kick it. But just, you don't need to go crazy on the meditation. You don't need to do journaling. You don't need to do this and self-affirmations. I'm going to talk about what doesn't work for me, at least, and that's the biggest one. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Like, just get some movement in your body, whatever, and you're going to notice your brain is, firing more than normal. Number 4, this was a huge one for me. Start your day the night before. Let me explain this. This one means a lot to me since I started it very early in my career at 19. I would be ruthless. My clothes would be laid out. I used to have a Keurig, which I don't anymore because garbage, just horrible coffee, plus it's plastics leaking through. It's disgusting. But I used to have a Keurig. I would have my mug plus my pod right beside the machine, set up the night before, but the machine actually propped open, ready for the pod to go in, plus my scoop of greens powder, plus just every little thing laid out. So it was just the domino effect, especially when I woke up early in the mornings before I used to go to the office, right? This was big for me. I still do this to this day as best as I can. Sometimes I'll even go as scheduling certain emails. Sometimes I'll go just making sure that text messages are out before I need to for the next day, right? Like, everything is planned. And I try to do this with videos too. It just feels good to see a video already pre-scheduled when you've done it in days in advance, right? When your upload schedule is just tip top. Highly recommend you try to do the same, specifically with not only your personal life, but also professionally. Just get things out of the way done. You're going to feel mentally more clear. You're going to have more ideas flowing. You're just going to feel naturally better. Okay. Number 5, I do this still to this day. Change your environment 1 to 2 times per week. For me, this is a coffee shop or my amenities room. So my amenities is very nice in my condo building. So I'll just go up there and I'll work. Some people use a co-working space, just something to get in a different location. I know this may sound counterproductive because I just mentioned in the beginning, it's like, well, don't you want like a focused, zoned in, kind of like dark, no distractions room? And it's like, yes, but changing your environment, as weird as it sounds, it's almost like this physical pressure from the world is like, okay, I can't just sit on my phone for 2 hours or get distracted because people are around me. People are looking at me, right? Even though they're probably not, they don't care. It's just, it's that mental pressure of like, okay, well, I can't just not do anything. I got to look productive. Like, this is middle of the workday. Let's get going. For me, that was huge. And I highly recommend you do the same. Just steal that because I do it. It's free, right? Obviously, like, buy a coffee. Like, I use the $3 coffee as rent for the space that I'm using for the next couple of hours. And sometimes I'll sit there all day, and I've written a lot of good video ideas and scripts and title ideas from Starbucks, as funny as that sounds. So highly recommend you steal that. Number 6, this is a bit of a different one, Binaural Beats. I literally have a playlist. I've been emailed about this a few times where it's like you have this playlist called Mind Expansion. I genuinely was a mistake. I didn't even realize I had that until way too late. So I just kept it up there now. But that's where all of my deep work kind of listening playlists were in. All the Binaural Beats is basically like this is music specifically designed to make you productive and puts you in a more flow state. I don't know if this could be like Fugazi, could be, non-science based stuff, but I'm the kind of guy that just needs something playing in the background. I've tried podcasts, but I notice I either like to watch them at the same time, which totally defeats the purpose, or I find myself listening too deeply and keeping up with the conversation. And then it's like, okay, well, I'm not getting any work done. With binaural music, there's no lyrics, plus it's just enough sound, at least for me personally, that it just gets me working without distractions. But I have something at least in my ears going that allows me to focus and just be like, okay, like, this is good. Like, there's something in the background, some beats, and I get to basically focus and just get in that flow state as quickly as I possibly can. So that was huge for me. Again, I try with podcasts, but I just can't really keep up too well. And I noticed myself being like, okay, like I'm all over the place. I need to just focus, and having like something low, low tempo or whatnot is just good enough to keep up. Plus, not too loud. So what do I think is not productive, or at least irrelevant to me? This may be different for you, and this may, this will evolve. There's some things that I used to do that I don't do anymore. I used to do the meditation. I used to do the breath work, which I still think are good to do, but you don't need to do them in the morning. You need to get to work as soon as you possibly can. Get to working on the quickest and highest leverage things in the morning. That is, in my opinion, what the best thing you could do is. What I don't think is productive, motivation videos and affirmations. Like that's the issue in and of itself, motivation. This is a means to an end, and it really conditions you the wrong way. If you have to motivate yourself just to do the bare minimum level of work, that is a huge problem. If you're working some 9 to 5 that you hate, okay, I guess temporarily. I understand that. But if you're starting a business and you're having, troubles just getting motivated, my brother, like, you're in the wrong area, or you're going to screw yourself long term. I promise you. That is not a good thing to do. You need to be disciplined. You need to have personal deadlines. You need to think long term, and doing what, I just said there, putting on motivation videos and trying to get all hyped up, that's just a waste of space. It's mental, as messed up as it sounds. It's just mental masturbation. You're not doing anything productive at all. And then number two, waking up early. I personally, like I said, I'm creative. I know a lot of guys that are, but I know guys that wake up from 10 a.m. to like 2 p.m., 1:30 in the afternoon, sometimes 3 p.m. that are multi-millionaires, and they're just night owls. They're most productive towards the end of the night and very early mornings. It's like, dude, to each their own. And you've got these, gurus telling you that you have to get up at 4 a.m. and if you're not, you're a loser. And it's like, brother, you make $500,000 a year. I know people who make that in a month, and they're waking up at the most random times, or they go out and do, they're misfits. They go and party, the whole week, and then 1 week they just work as hard as they can, and then vice versa, and they're just constantly cycling through that, right? As funny as that sounds, it works, right? And I'm just a big fan of doing what works for you. And like I said, I kind of already commented on the journaling and the affirmations and all these kinds of things. It's like, you don't need to do that. Prove that through your actions. The reason why people use that from their words is because they don't believe it, that they're actually real. The physical being of themselves isn't what they think. They're trying to psych themselves out and fake it till you make it, which again is a means to an end. So I didn't mean to ramble on too much there. As always, if you made it this far, I want to see you win. Please let me know what you are doing to stay productive. And thank you for your time today. See you in the next one.